If you've watched YouTube Shorts or TikTok in the past few years, there's a decent chance you've come across an individual known as JinnKid.
You speak of dragons as if I don't have an entire hold of solitude to look after. I don't have time for fairy tales.
JinnKid is the creator of the massively popular Skyrim in Real Life series, essentially short sketches where he roleplayed as various NPCs from the game. JinnKid's series would go on to spawn an entire genre of NPC role-playing videos, with many now making similar videos of their own to this day. He was the picture of internet success, with well over 1 million followers across YouTube and TikTok, and hundreds of thousands of upstart creators trying to mimic his style.
I cannot teach you that shout because I do not know it myself.
But behind all the viral videos and characters portrayed in them was a deeply disturbed and violent individual. In October of 2021, JinnKid's meteoric rise to social media stardom would be cut short after he was arrested and charged with 2 counts of murder, not in Skyrim, but in real life. So how did JinnKid go from silly niche social media sketch creator to wanted criminal facing life in prison? Ali Nassar Abulaban, more popularly known as JinnKid, was born in Staten Island, New York on the 18th of May 1992. His mother was just 15 years old when he was born, and according to her, Ali had a difficult childhood, being often picked on by his father, who was physically abusive towards him. At 14, he was diagnosed with ADHD, which reflected poorly on his school performance. Following high school, he went to college for 1 semester before dropping out to pursue a career in the Air Force. It's here that he met his future wife, Anna, while he was stationed in Okinawa. While a seemingly loving relationship, issues with it cropped up very early on, as he was discharged from the military due to allegations of abuse. Despite this, the two of them would have a daughter together, and Ali would return back to school to become an IT network engineer. Ali first started creating content online as JinnKid back in November of 2018, that content being singing and rapping. His first notable release was a remix of the song Arms Around You by XXXTentacion. To his surprise, the remix eventually reached around 15,000 views and had positive feedback in the comments. Motivated by this, JinnKid would continue releasing music, eventually producing original songs of his own. He would go on to create an entire album, in fact, which I must admit has a rather hilarious album cover. As you might expect, given the topic of this video, music would not be the creative endeavor that catapulted JinnKid to success. Rather, it would serve as more of a stepping stone to his true creative foundation, that being character impressions. In August of 2019, JinnKid uploaded a video of himself making impressions of various Star Wars characters. It didn't make huge waves at the time, but it clearly showcased that he was at least capable in this regard.
I'm looking for a great warrior. Oh, great warrior. Wars, not make one great.
About a month after the Star Wars video, he took another crack at acting, making a comedy skit doing an impression of Tony Montana from Scarface, where he gets progressively more into the character as the sketch goes on.
You wanna fuck with me? Okay. God, okay. Do you wanna play this? Okay. I play with you. Do you wanna play rough? Okay. Where the fuck is my gun? Gina, where the fuck is my gun?
This was JinnKid's first video to blow up, getting over 100,000 views, a huge milestone for any new creator. It was at this point that he decided to combine his knack for impressions and his musical talent to create this, an original song sung entirely by him doing a Tekashi 6ix9ine impression. This video was another success, getting over 100,000 views. The lyrics tell a seemingly imagined story about a guy in an unhealthy relationship with a woman that he was cheating on. Seemingly inconsequential for me to mention. However, I'd argue that this entire song could have been a form of projection, with Jin using Tekashi 6ix9ine as a mask to tell a story about his own personal life and relationship with his girl. But I'm getting ahead of myself. We still have to talk about Skyrim. Sometime in late 2019, JinnKid would upload the first installment of Skyrim in Real Life, a series where Ali acted like a Skyrim NPC, capturing the various quirks, eccentricities, and buggy behavior of the many NPCs found throughout the Skyrim game, and pretty much every Elder Scrolls game.
I've been looking for you. A letter from Jarl Ulfric. Very impressive. Now, where did I put it? Ah, there it is. Well, that's all I've got. Take care. Sorry, need something? Need something?
Though this is a fairly common type of skit nowadays, Ollie was one of the first to do NPC sketches like this, and for his novel creation, he was handsomely rewarded. Though we can't see what kind of numbers it was doing on TikTok, it got over 600K views on YouTube, becoming by far his most popular upload at the time. Ollie was quick to capitalize on this success, and the very next day he already had a second episode ready. It blew past the last one, getting 1.2 million views on YouTube.
You try mercenary work? Might suit you. Hey! Watch it! Something going on? Need something?
His TikTok account was blowing up at an unprecedented rate, and he would accrue an impressive 941,000 followers in short time. Though Skyrim IRL was by far his most popular series, he still continued to produce other content like impressions of Tony Montana, John Wick, and other kinds of characters.
Okay. Just watch my back. This is not Call of Duty, man, okay? That won't be necessary. Okay, tough guy. Is this the right place? Yeah, man. Take it easy, okay? Relax.
For the most part, he was uploading these clips to TikTok, but he was very much active on YouTube and Instagram as well. These three platforms serving as the trifecta hub of anything that would be JinnKid content.
Okay. What can I get? Hey, handsome. What the fuck you call me? Sorry, man. I have a venti dolce caramel macchiato with no ice.
What the fuck is wrong with this guy, man? You get him, yo.
Ollie had everything you could want as a growing creator. He was getting shown love by the YouTube and TikTok algorithms, and even received praise from media outlets who commented on the creativity of his Skyrim IRL series. Even more impressively, his Scarface impressions actually caught the attention of some big-name Hollywood actors, including the legendary Stephen Bauer, who played Manny Ribeiro, Tony Montana's right-hand man in Scarface. The point is, JinnKid had it going on. A thriving online presence with hundreds of thousands of fans, and a great real-life job to fall back on if things fizzled out on social media. And with all of that stated, now we approach the question: how did JinnKid fuck all of this up? Well, it's a pretty crazy situation that actually does involve JinnKid hacking and spying on his own family. And with that said, before we move into this segment, I want to talk about today's cybersecurity sponsor, Surfshark VPN. Surfshark is a VPN app that I personally have used for many years now. I travel quite a bit and have to access unsecured Wi-Fi networks when I'm trying to work. And you can bet your bottom dollar I'm using Surfshark when I'm on those things to protect myself from hackers, people trying to get my IP. We don't want none of that stuff. You got to keep yourself protected with Surfshark. Surfshark has a 30-day money-back guarantee, so literally sign up, use it for a month, and if you don't like it, you get the cash back in your hand. It's a risk-free deal. So Surfshark is great. It lets you change your location to virtually anywhere on Earth. They've got 3,200 servers in over 100 locations that you can pick from. This allowing you to be even more anonymous online. Having a VPN at the ready is always a good idea in general, and you can get pretty creative with them if you want to. Like, let's say a website is trying to block access in your country. Switch to another country and get to it. Same goes for streaming apps like Netflix, Hulu, and the rest of them. If there's a region-specific piece of content that you want to watch that's not accessible in your country, just change locations and you can watch it. So with that said, it's time to secure your privacy with Surfshark VPN. Sign up with my link in the description to get an extra 4 months of Surfshark. That's surfshark.com/wavywebsurf. So let's begin to discuss how everything started to go wrong. Do you remember Ollie's wife, Anna? She's featured in a number of Ollie's videos, either holding the camera or occasionally playing a character herself in the content. Though not a major part of his channel, she was involved in the video production process to some degree. While the two seemed happy together on camera, their off-screen relationship was apparently not so harmonious. When the two were living together back at Ollie's mother's house in Virginia, the mother has gone on record testifying that she often heard them argue. At the time, she didn't think much about it, believing it to be nothing more than the bickering of a young couple. Though it appears more was at play, as around the time of Ollie's initial blow-up on social media, him and Anna had gotten in a dispute that resulted in Anna floating the idea of getting a restraining order against him, though it seems Ollie's mother eventually dissuaded her from doing this. Associates of Anna have also spoken out about the brewing discord in the couple's relationship. According to Anna's friend, a woman named Julia, he was a domineering figure in the relationship, all but forcing Anna to work on the videos with him. She was supposedly quite isolated, with Ollie seemingly not allowing her to have any sort of friends of her own out of jealousy. Though as many troubled partners do, the two continued to stick together. The couple eventually moved to San Diego in February of 2021 at the behest of Anna, who wanted to live closer to some of her friends from Japan. The move wasn't exactly smooth sailing, and at some point, Ollie became addicted to
Alright, this video is supposed to be quiet, but I'm confused how this nigga got a bitch and he can control her, but I can't even get a bitch, bro. Or a female. I can't get a female to like be with me, bro. That, like, I must be like ugly as hell. I know I'm ugly as hell. Let me shut the fuck up. I'm sorry, guys. I just had to put my 2 cents in. I'm sorry.
The very next day, he already had a second episode ready. It blew past the last one, getting 1.2 million views on YouTube.
You try mercenary work? Might suit you. Hey! Watch it! Something going on? Need something?
His TikTok account was blowing up at an unprecedented rate, and he would accrue an impressive 941,000 followers in short time. Though Skyrim IRL was by far his most popular series, he still continued to produce other content like impressions of Tony Montana, John Wick, and other kinds of characters.
Okay. Joe, watch my back.
Anna and Ollie get into a heated argument, an argument that boiled over into Ollie throwing things at both of the women and accusing Anna of cheating on him. She says in this argument that Ollie demanded Anna to have more sex with him, arguing that because he had helped her move to the United States, he basically owned her and she was like his slave. Anna had thus far chose to stay with Ollie for the sake of their daughter, as she was worried she would get deported or lose custody if they split up. Though likely seeing how dangerous the situation had become, she tempered her fears and ended up calling the police and reporting him for domestic violence. When the officers came, Ollie recorded the entire interaction, which the police found unusual. Quote, "Most people don't record their conversations with the cops," a responding deputy is quoted as saying. Though in fairness, I'm sure cops would like if you didn't record them, but we're still gonna fucking record you, dog. With no physical injuries present, police wouldn't make an arrest. Speaking of recording things, Ollie started publicly humiliating Anna on social media, recording her during their arguments and commenting things like, "This is what a bitch looks like." Around this time, Ollie was also facing trouble at his real-life military IT job. In July of 2021, he randomly stopped showing up at work without any announcements. Later that month, he requested short-term disability, which was granted. When he returned, he was on good behavior for a while, but he quickly fell into his old habits of drug abuse and physical abuse. With trouble in both his personal and professional life and the turmoil surrounding everything, it was obvious that this marriage wasn't going to last. The straw that broke the camel's back was when Anna found out that Ollie had been cheating on her. And this was the final transgression. She could stomach no more. Anna began to try the process of separation. She moved with her daughter to a friend's house, leaving Ollie by himself in their apartment. She also would go through with getting a restraining order. However, after Ollie offered to move to a hotel, she moved back into their apartment, with him not there. But even with a restraining order against him, Ollie the JinnKid would continue to torment his former lover. In the early morning of October 21st, while Anna was out of the apartment, Ollie snuck in, taking their daughter's iPad and connecting it to Discord voice chat in order to record and spy on Anna. He also ransacked the apartment, which Anna would eventually notice when she got back and have to clean up. Their daughter was getting out of school soon, and Anna, not wanting the child to see the chaotic aftermath in the apartment, well, she decided that she just needed to clean everything up as fast as possible, and in order to do that, she needed help. With Ollie secretly monitoring her, Anna calls up a male friend named Rayburn Barron and asks him for a favor, that being if he could help her with the cleaning of the house. Ali, hearing Anna calling this man, becomes enraged. He jumped into his car and sped towards the Spire apartment complex where she was located and takes the elevator up to the 35th floor where the room was at. Ali was seen entering the apartment, after which he found Anna, pulled out a pistol, and started shooting at both her and Rayburn. Ali shot Rayburn 3 times before pointing the gun at Anna and shooting her in the forehead. Both would die from the man's cold-blooded attack. Right after the shooting, Ali contacted his mother, revealing that he had just murdered his wife. The 6th social media star then immediately went to pick up his daughter from school. Thankfully, the child wouldn't be harmed, and a few hours later, he was caught and arrested by the police on suspicion of murder. He confessed just 5 hours after the killings took place, and was charged with 2 counts of murder in the 1st degree. Despite the confession, he pled not guilty. News of the event quickly blew up on social media. The attention led to requests for interview, with Ollie eventually accepting a request by Fox 5. While he was open about the case, what made the interview interesting was just how emotionally volatile he was throughout.
But what were you thinking?
I was freaking out. Oh my god, I caught her. Oh my god, there's a man. And then guess what? I hear nightmare. R&B music.
Interestingly, he also expressed regret for the shooting, although not for the reasons you might think.
I miss all everything. It's my craft. It's my baby. That's what I do. I wanted to be an actor. And I was right there. The weekend before all this happened, I was in LA at the Comedy Store. I was talking to producers. I was about to have a talent agent. It was right there.
Yes, even though he's on live television, he can't even feign remorse for killing his own wife. All he could think about is that he lost his career and woe is me. Just in case there was any confusion about whether this guy was a good dude or not, during a later interview for a documentary, he apologized to his fans for not being able to make more content and issued no apology to the families. His priorities were with making fucking Skyrim role-playing videos. The preliminary hearing took place in January of 2022, and according to an attorney present, it quickly turned explosive, after a detective had described Anna and Rayburn's relationship becoming more romantic. This led to an outburst from Ollie, who started throwing expletives at the judge, complaining about how he never wanted this for himself or his daughter, and how his life was effectively over. Again, he's more focused about his own life than the ones that he coldly took for seemingly no reason. The process of justice dragged on for the next several years, with Ollie trying to sow doubt with bouts of incompetency and just seeming extremely crazy throughout all of it. The court ordered a clinical evaluation for him, during which more of his childhood trauma was brought to light. According to the examiner, Ollie claimed to have been beaten by his father using an extension cord, which caused welts on his back and trauma. Whatever the case, on May 1st of 2024, the trial started in earnest and was heavily publicized. Ollie was facing 2 life sentences, with the prosecution making the case that this was first-degree murder, while the defense argued it was voluntary homicide or a crime of passion. The prosecution was allowed to make their points first, and throughout the week they painted a picture of Ollie being an abusive husband, They interviewed a number of Anna's friends who testified to Ali and Anna's relationship, that relationship being toxic, according to them.
This whole Scarface act was very common back then as well. He just always had to be better than everybody else in the room. He spoke down to a lot of us. It actually kind of made me distance myself toward the end because I just couldn't stand being around him. He made everybody in the room feel uncomfortable. It was just very physical and verbal.
Another friend tried to explain the reason Anna was scared of being deported was partially because Ali had directly threatened her with it. One of the friends cited earlier, Julia, she recalled an incident during which she picked up Anna from the apartment. In anger, Ali followed them in his car, got ahead of them, and tried to brake check them and swerve them off the road. She called 911 over the matter, but decided not to press charges, hoping that just the police coming would scare him from doing it again. More
And y'all females want a hood nigga. A hood nigga is 10 times worse. The nigga will literally smash your car into the road. You won't die, but you're gonna get your ass like beat until like almost there. Y'all females need to stop dating these hood dudes. Or these dudes that are out of control with their emotions. Like, that's crazy. It's crazy. You know?
Hauntingly, the prosecution presented all of the recordings of the incident, including the moment the actual shooting occurred and the aftermath. As these clips played, Ali cried, although it's hard to say whether he was feigning grief or feeling actual emotion here. After the prosecution made their case, it was time for the defense to step up. Since they were trying to prove that this was a crime of passion, their main goal was to give the impression that Ali wasn't in control of his faculties due to mental illness at the time of the crime being taken place. They also try to say that the coke addiction had something to do with it. They argued that he actually had no intention of killing anybody by going there. It's just whenever he walked into the apartment room, he was so enraged and it was a spur of the moment decision. In order to help their testimony, they called several witnesses, including Dr. Lehman, mentioned earlier, and Ali's mother. When his mother came to testify, she actually blew him a kiss before sitting down, and then promptly broke down crying, believing her son to be innocent. She detailed the relationship as being more mutually toxic, with both of them being physically abusive to each other. She also pleaded that he was suffering from mental issues due to severe childhood trauma, which Dr. Lehman further confirmed. However, perhaps the craziest part of this trial is that Ali eventually took the stand himself. Now, this move is generally discouraged by any solid attorney, as it's an easy way to completely burn yourself in the eyes of the jury, as you expose yourself to a prosecutor's cross-examination. However, given he had already been caught dead to rights, he was basically banking on the idea that he could sway the jury by humanizing himself here. It was like a Hail Mary attempt. So how did it go?
Slapping.
Her friends?
Slapping Anna.
I would never do that in public. I never did that.
He spoke about his abusive childhood, saying among other things that men in his culture were supposed to be strong and patriarchal, while he was much more similar to his mother.
You're supposed to take place of your father. You're supposed to be the father when he's not there or at work or things of that nature. However, I was a lot more like my mother, and that posed a lot of problems.
He talked about his ADHD and his struggles with self-worth, and he also went into his military career, detailing the incident that had led him to getting discharged.
Well, I had learned that there was a house party that I was not invited to. And I show up, and I see one of my staff sergeants sitting down, and I sat with them. I had a beer in my hand, and it had been really troubling me as to, like, why am I not fitting in? What's wrong with me? So I said, hey, staff sergeant, can I ask you a question? He goes, sure. I was like, why does it seem like nobody likes me? And he goes, it's because you're a terrorist. You're a terrorist, Abulabon.
In regards to Anna, he argued that he was not nearly as controlling as the prosecution had made him out to be. And he said the most he would ever do was use a firm tone when speaking to her when he was frustrated with the woman. In general, he spoke very little about the actual allegations he was facing during his testimony, and instead threw a giant pity party for himself, making a bunch of excuses. Whatever he hoped to achieve, he was now about to be grilled by Cross, and it went worse than you can possibly imagine. They ruthlessly questioned him, mentioning a number of incidents where Ali had been violent with Anna and other people. This included a time in July when he punched her multiple times and then convinced her not to go to the police with it. They then covered Julia's claim that Ali had attempted to run her and Anna off the road. He would confirm that during the end of the relationship, Anna often leaned on her friend Julia for support when her and Ali were fighting. On the day of the road rage incident, he was fed up with them commiserating with each other, so he got in his car to fucking stalk them and follow them and try to hit them.
And just swerve near Julia's car to scare them, right?
No, I pulled up to the adjacent lane and side by side, and I told him to pull over.
You're moving your hands, anything, you're in the lane next to Julia's car?
Yeah, we were just, I was behind her the whole time, and then at some point I moved to the left lane to be window to window.
But you were swerving near them, right? Trying to make them scared?
I swerved in front of them just to try to stop them, yes.
And then you brake checked them, right?
I did.
That's scary to someone on the road, right?
It is scary.
And you did that because you were trying to intimidate them, right?
I was trying to get Anna to come back with me.
And Anna did not want to come back to the apartment with you that night, right?
Initially.
She made that clear to you, right?
Besides Anna and Rayburn, the people that he was most frequently violent with were individuals in his own family. Sometime during Ali's mom's divorce, she was in contact with somebody named Mr. Sharma, an online individual, and they supposedly became romantically involved. This upset Ali as he felt like he was cheating on her dad even though they were getting a fucking divorce.
That made you mad, right?
It hurt the family, yes, including me.
You slapped your mom when you found that out, right?
No, I didn't.
Anna saw you slap your mom.
No, I didn't.
Anna saw you slap your mom, right?
She did not see that. I shoved her.
But you shoved your mom.
I did.
So you didn't slap her, you shoved her.
No, I shoved her.
Because you were mad at her for cheating on your dad, essentially, right?
She admitted in a very vulgar way in front of my dad that yes. So yes.
You were mad at her, right? Because you don't like when someone's cheated on, right?
That's correct.
Without getting too deep into the nitty-gritty, the prosecution did an excellent job in calling him out on his bullshit. All Ali could do was come off as a complete narcissist. In the end, his testimony only hurt his defense, and by this point, there was no doubt where the jury was gonna go. On the 29th of May, the jury found him guilty of 2 counts of first-degree murder, with each charge getting a gun enhancement. Once the ruling was read and the time came to put the cuffs on him, he broke down in court. The date of sentencing was set for the 6th of September, where Ali gave one last plea for mercy, apologizing to the families of the victims and everyone else involved, while reminding everyone that he was mentally ill and needed help. To no one's surprise, the plea fell on deaf ears. When the judge laid down his sentencing, he was merciless, striking out any mitigating factors and refusing to remove the gun enhancements.
So the bottom line here is he will die in prison. He will never be a free man. He will take his last breath there. Please.
In the end, he was given 2 life sentences without parole and an extra 50 years for the 2 gun enhancements. As of today, his TikTok has been deleted, although his YouTube channel is actually still up. About a week after the sentencing, someone uploaded a video to his channel titled Murder or Manslaughter, sharing about 14 minutes worth of clips from the trial, concluding with a still image that said, "This was a crime of passion." I have no idea who had access to his account. I'm thinking that it could be his mom, but I don't know. Needless to say, the commenters under this video were not impressed. In the world of social media, it's easy to get lost and deceived by what you see on screen. Looking at Ollie's videos, you would have thought he was a funny, likable, and easy to get along with guy with a good sense of humor. And there were certainly hundreds of thousands of fans around the world who felt that way, not knowing anything about the dark secrets that laid beneath. Much like some of the enemies in the video game itself, this Skyrim IRL actor was a straight up monster, and I don't know about you guys, but I'm happy that he's spending the rest of his life in prison. And well, you made it to the end. I want to give a major shout out to my patrons. I appreciate you guys. Wavy Web Surf out. Peace.